Hello and welcome to the GPVWC Formula Challenge Round here at Spa-Francorchamps here this evening. I'm David Carter. I should be here joined by Menno Clant at some point, but it's a possibility he may not make it, so it might be me just going solo here this evening. How's everyone? I hope you're all doing well this evening. It's not too bad outside. It's not too bad here at Spa. We've got some nice sunshine here at the moment. Sorry, a bit later than that. Hungary. A couple of weeks ago now. It was one of the. I would say Chris Shepherd was the man there. He got a second and first there in race 2 there as well, and he closed the gap now in the stands, just 14 points behind Chris Butcher. So it's Chris Butcher on 333, then Chris Shepherd on 319 points, and there's a bit of a chasm, bit of a big gap there between Shepherd there and David Young in third place. 70 points there between those two drivers, and then big gaps going all the way down the field until you get down to fifth place there, Levanov, and then it's all very close in behind that. So here we are. We're at Spa. As I said earlier, nice conditions here as well, as we're just getting through the qualifying session here. So we've got about 13 and a half minutes to go here. And the usual suspects have been looking really, really quick. We've got Shepherd, Butcher, they're looking really, really fast here as well. And their teammates as well, Campfield and David Junt as well. They've been looking really, really impressive as well in qualifying. So people just starting their first laps as we speak. I'll just do a couple of announcements. There's a busy schedule, as most of you are probably aware. ITC is just around the corner now. 23rd of August is the first round at Poznan. 2 divisions. About 30 teams taking part as well. You see about 60 or 62 cars taking part in those 2 divisions, and there's a promotion relegation system. So the people who do well in Division 2 will get promoted, and the teams in Division 1 and the drivers in Division 1 who are not doing so well, they'll get demoted down to Division 2. Very highly competitive field. Sign-ups, the teams have been confirmed, but the drivers haven't. So feel free to message those team owners if you are interested in a drive and see if you can get a seat on the grid. It starts on next Thursday. People have plenty of testing. We've had test races at Silverstone. So it's been really, really action-packed. It's been very lately been announced, but it's going to be all go until the lights go out in the first race there at Poznan. So that's something to look forward to. And Academy Series as well next week, 21st. That's at Monza, so that's back. So they've had their pre-season break as well. They last raced out in Hungary. So now they're back. They'll be racing at Monza next week, so that will be interesting. I think there's still a couple of sign-ups still open there, a couple of spaces left, so feel free to check the sign-up list. I think there's about 39 drivers taking part or signed up to at least at the moment. I should be doing commentary for that. That's my usual thing. I'm not really, as you know, I'm not doing from the challenge or Super League I did recently as well. I should be there for sure, and bringing the action as I see it. So that's next week on 21st of August. And speaking of Academy, we've got the 2 Academy Series drivers for this round. We've got Kasper Michalak. He's in one of the cars, and we've also got I can't remember who the other driver was now. I saw him a minute ago. I might have just left the server. Let me just have a quick look who that second driver was. It just escaped me just at the moment. I think he might have left the server. I can't see it, but there is 2 drivers taking part. I've seen them both testing on the server, and Michalak is one of those drivers taking part. First lap time's coming in now. Chris Shepherd 54.7. That's a very nice time. That's a sort of I think they're expecting no 54s around this circuit. So Shepherd doing a nice bench part there. Clint van der Ven is someone I actually really rate as a driver. I've watched him a couple of times before. I've done commentary a few times before elsewhere. Watch this guy drive. He has got some seriously good ability, and he's currently in P3 at the moment, just behind Matthias Moose. Van der Ven now, he came in and he's got a bit of a reputation of being a quick driver. And I said he did the Academy Series race at Hungary. I said, watch out for this guy. I said to a few people weren't so sure about him, and he's doing really, really well. He's got a drive now at TTF Racing. So I'm keeping my eyes out on him. He's sort of like an outsider. I think he's taken part in a round before Van Ven. Let's check. Just see if that's correct. No, I don't. Oh, yeah, he did 1 round last time out. Yeah, he got a 5th and an 11th place. That was right. So I say he's got a fair amount of speed. I say he's been carrying that over here. As well from Sean here. So far, it's just on his 2nd lap now, just going through the back part of the circuit in sector 3. So yeah, it's been a very interesting. Obviously, a lot of people had a nice break, and a few teams, a few drivers have moved and everything like that. But as I say, we're now back on the racetrack as Matthew Williams. He goes up to 2nd place there. He's just a 10th and a half behind Chris. As just having a couple of technical difficulties with my microphone there. But yeah, P2 he is in at the moment there, so he's got shown in front of the Chris Shepherd. Much a bit lower down than normal, but it's only half a second away. He's just actually completing his. Well, actually, he's going to the pits there. Actually, he's actually shown the 4th right moment. David Judd, his teammate. Now, obviously, Butcher and Judd have been teammates a very long time, as well as Shepherd and Cantfield. They've been to get those teammates together way back when it was in TPS with Butcher and Judd at THR. Excuse me. And Cantfield and Chris Shepherd also been teammates as well back in the past. So they both know each other. They all know each other extremely well, know their strengths and know their weaknesses. But is it at that point in the season now where Butcher and Shepherd are the number 1 drivers and Cantfield and number 2s? I mean, I'm looking at Cantfield. I say he hasn't had the best of seasons by a long way. A lot of problems, a lot of DNFs, and he's quite far down. Is he gonna, if he has got the speed to support Shepherd, will he be there? And likewise, David, I mean, he's 3rd in the standings. He's done a fantastic job. Is that point where now they have to do that supporting role for their teammate to win this championship? I mean, I know certainly Red Arrow will be looking for that, and also Stacks Racing. They'll be looking for that for sure, just to see whether they can seal this team's title. But I'll say Red Arrow is quite a long way ahead in the standings anyway. It's 174 points, so it's going to take an enormous effort for Stacks to win this championship. And I say it would take a few real clangers for Red Arrow to lose it, but it's sort of say anything's possible in motor racing, as we all know. But I say it's going to take a huge amount of good fortune and bad fortune both ways for them to get a lot closer in the standings. So people doing their 2nd laps now, not much movement now in the stands. You see Adrian Campfield there, he's coming in P5, 2.5 tenths behind his teammate Chris Shepherd, so extremely close at the front. And so a lot of people doing a very low downforce setup around this track. You're talking, if you know Rfactor and you know the setups, how they work, and we're probably looking at 2-1, 3-1 wings. And they're going all for straight line speed line. They're hitting 185 miles an hour down Campbell Straight. So they've really got a low downforce here. Really, really slippery cars this week, and they've done a lot of slipstream out of Eau Rouge and then down that Campbell Straight. Be a lot of action going towards there this week. So a couple of new drivers actually taking part this week. Kean Donaldson, he's coming in P26. He's a very last-minute replacement actually in the team that he's driving for, which is WSL Racing. He's in, I think this is his 1st round he's taken part this season. He did the Academy Series in Hungary. It didn't go so well for him, but I know he's done a lot of laps around Spa-Francorchamps, and he is looking to just get his foot in the door really and see whether he can get a couple of good results this week. I say he's looking to do Formula Jedi in real life next season. So he's looking to get into real racing. He's 16 years old, but he's a really good character as well, really nice guy. So I really hope he does well this week. Say he's very good friends with Luke Browning actually as well, and Luke Browning, who does real racing himself, as I'm sure most of you know by now. He does Genetic Juniors, which he actually won at Rockingham this week. He was on the 3rd race at Rockingham. He won that race in the rain. So those two have been helping each other out a lot, and I say Kean should get faster and faster as the events go, as the event goes on during the rest of this season. We've got a new poleman at the moment, a 54.6 by Marcin Rybachuk. There he is. There he's just going through the 2nd sector now. TVR Blue Voss Motorsports driver. So he's had a fair crack, hasn't he? I've seen him a couple of times. He seems to be a very decent driver for sure. So he's currently taken over from Shepherd at the moment. just about 4.5 minutes to go now. So people probably got time for two. They might, excuse me, might have squeezed in a third lap if they can. But certainly it's a long lap round here, so people will have to get on that racetrack pretty quick to set a lap, because it's going to take about 2 minutes to do your lap around here. So it's going to be interesting, and assess when it gets to the 2.5 minute mark, people will be out on track to prepare themselves for their final runs. There's also a few penalties as well. I'll just inform you of the penalty situation from the last round. I believe it was at what was that? Hungary. Yep. So we got Galko got a warm race ban actually, which is unfortunate for him. I'm not exactly sure the circumstances behind that, but it could be the anti-cheat software potentially for that. Sandeep Choda, Brambilla, we got Botarovsky and Matthew Beavers. They've all got back of the grid penalties for various reasons. And we have got Renan Moore, he's got a 10-stop grid penalty. And we've got Harry Graham, who's got a 20-stop grid penalty as well. So, you know, a few penalties there that people got to have, as well as David Kruper as well. He's also a 20-place grid penalty as well. So a few be not as many as before, actually. I thought it'd be a few more than that. I say it normally is the case that after a few incidents that people do like to be sent at the back of the grid. But the grid will be shaken up a bit. There's a couple of fast drivers there, as I've just noticed Chris Butcher. He's gone up to P3 now. Right behind Chris Shepherd, he's split into two stacked cars completely there, so he'll be sitting on at the moment second row at the moment. His teammates down in 10th average, but they're just following each other, aren't they, after all these laps? They're just you could say Chris at the moment is probably helping David Jump with a slipstream here and trying to improve his way up the grid, so Jump can possibly help support Chris in a better light as Jump goes past Chris Butcher as he goes back to the pits. Well, it looks like he's going back to the pits anyway, just easing off down the straight. Jump carries on. That's what I've got there. We've got Luke Brown in 8th, down in 12th, coming on 6th row of the grid. Ahead of Ross Wood for their last time run. So we've only got 31 drivers in the server, so a couple missing, I believe. But I'd say it's still a fairly full track. You could say for sure. Rupert there at the moment currently got that golden seat, hasn't he? He's on that pole position as it stands. And that's it's important because it's only a short run up to a Rouge, so having the it's not a Rouge, it's La Source hairpin, of course. It's only a short run up to La Source, so instead having a good start will be important. So that front position will be vital to have at this race. Hopefully not too much chaos when we get there. But say it's really trick from Shepherd, from Butcher, from Countfield, from Williams, from Moose, from Vanderveer, from Maguire, Leonoff, and David Yunt completing the top 10. So that's in 6/10 separating the top 10. It's the top 15 covered by a second. So Wesley Stefano there in 15th. I'm just going to see if anyone is improving their times at the moment. Let's have a little look through the various drivers. I say most people are on out lap at the moment. But we do have here Luke Brown. He's actually up on Rupert time. I went by a 10. By looks of things, I'm just going to look now to see what he's going to do at the end of the second sector as he goes through, completing sector 2. So he's got a little bit of understeer there, but he's got the power on nicely. He's 2/10 off himself. He's 3/10 behind Rupert, so he should be looking up to get a couple of places here. As he goes down to the back of the circuit now, in top speed is probably about 180 miles an hour. As he hits there, very nicely there. As he touches 180 now, as he goes to break in for the bus stop chicane. So he gets a nice back curve out on the right hand side and the left hand side. He puts the power on, DRS to be enabled. As he goes across the line, here we go. 55.2. So he does improve by a small amount, gets up to P11, so just one position in the end. He has time just about for one more run. Let's look at some other drivers now who's fighting for that pole position. We've got Stefano, he jumps up to 8 positions. That's a tremendous jump there from P15 up to P8 there. 3/10 behind the leader. And we've also got Moose as well. He's slightly up at the moment on Rupert as he goes through bus stop chicane. He's currently P6. Gets a nice amount of power. Gets the power a bit late there. But here he goes across the line. 54.8 to beat. well, he's gone a tenth quicker, but there he's actually got to P3, so another great effort there by Moose there, but it's just not enough to knock Shepherd or Rubachuk off the pole at this at the moment. I'd say a few people are on their final laps. Been there, still in P7. He's going through back into the circuit now. As he passed the car off to the left, the right hand side there, I think it's Tom Lambert's there. Yeah, he's going through slowly there. He's just going to crawl back to the pits. I'd say top three still out there and still on track. So Rooster's going back to the pits. But Shepherd is getting close. Cantfield takes pole. 54-4. Shepherd beats it. So it's just a stacks front row at the moment. Tremendous stuff. And that's exactly what Chris Shepherd would want. Because he got Butcher down in 5th place here at the moment. And you're down in 11th. So a perfect situation there, pretty much there for Chris Shepherd. I've noticed it watching him do a few laps as well. He's done a lot of practice for this event as well. I know he's doing a lot with Luke Browning, actually. They did a big, long session of practice together, and I say it seems to really pay off there. Moves across the line now. He's going to stay P3. Moves to stay P4. Butcher 5th. Matthew Williams in 6th. Van der Ven in 7th. Wesley Stefano, good effort there from him. He's in P8. Luke McGuire in 9th, and Ivan Leonov. He's competing in the top 10 there. So action-packed session there at the end there. That is impressive stuff for sure. There's some people are a bit disappointed. Obviously, David Junt, he'll expect to be a bit higher up than P11, that's for sure. He's got a bit of work to do there. He's going to be around the sort of where Chris Butcher is to help support him up the grid. And say Andrzej Boratowski, I think he's starting back in the grid anyway, but he never set at that time either. So unfortunate for him. I'd say he's got a bit of himself in that situation. As I say, he needs to be nice and fresh for the start in May. He can start from the pit lane, potentially, because of the way La Source can be sometimes, you know, a bit chaotic in a few instances in real life, of course, over the years. So, of course, something very similar could happen here. Very easy because you got to touch your wheels on, particularly on Rfactor 2, and it could be absolute chaos before you know it. So, if I was on George, I'd definitely be starting from the back of the grid. So Shepherd there with a pole, and they'll be absolutely delighted with that. I mean, 54-3, 54-4 there, and Stacks, they're doing a fantastic job to get the look out the front row grid. Tremendous stuff, and they'll be really looking forward to the race now. Of course, it's an 11-lap race. We're talking, it was nearly a 2-minute lap, 1 minute 54. So it's quite a very high average speed circuit. So the laps will just even up to 1 minute 54 lap. I mean, the actual time of the race will be quite short. So it's even more important so to get that front row lockout, as people now will be cooling down from practice, and hopefully we'll maybe do a few practice starts and maybe a couple of setup tweaks if they can. It's obviously very limited because they've all got they're in part firmware now, so they need to do a couple of tiny little tweaks to the car. But hopefully they'll be able to do that soon. So now as we go into the warm-up session now, I believe it's like 5 minutes or so before we go into the race. So, you know, as we say, we're in the normal procedure of where we are as far as the calendar is for this week. So obviously got Formula Challenge today, and then we've also got Super Cup tomorrow, and then as I say, the drama of Super League on Thursday as well. So I say it's going to be hopefully quite an exciting week. I say for Super League, obviously people doing all the various upgrades and seeing where they can potentially jump each other. So if you watch, we had the latest episode of the Scrutiny yesterday from Mike Pittman. He did another cracking job as always. So feel free to watch that on our YouTube channel as well, GPVWC Simracing, and watch the very high detail, highly depth content that Mike Pittman brings to the table, and see who he thinks is going to do well this week and who he fears will struggle as well. 4 minutes till the end, till the session ends here. I'll say people are just doing last-minute adjustments here, or seeing what they can do on their long runs. But I say we're still missing Menoclon. I say, as I said earlier, I might be doing this solo this evening. And fingers crossed we'll have a move because I'm not in the best of health at the moment. I must admit I've got this really bad cough. So if I do cough in the broadcast, I do apologise in advance. I've done it a couple of times this evening, but I've had it now for a little while. So I apologise if anything like that happens. But I'll say hopefully Menno will be joining us, and I'll say I'll keep an eye on the YouTube chat as well in the meantime. So if anyone's got any questions as well about my thoughts about this week or the season or my predictions or anything, feel free to chime in the comments as well. So I'm just gonna have a couple of minutes break now before the session starts, before the race starts here. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about the little break there. I thought I'd just get composed there for the race, and I've just read some comments, and I apologise if there's any. I've just seen the comments about the internet connection and the potentially people having a slightly poor experience on YouTube. Do apologise about that. As I said, I'm trying a bit new software for this race. I don't think it's holding up too well, but to say, we hope you can potentially get that fixed a little bit, try and improve the experience as much as possible. But as I say, I apologise about that. And then hopefully it's not too bad where you're watching from. So 30 seconds now to the end of qualifying. The grid's been set, so it's taken the penalties into consideration. So it's going to be Catfield and then Rfactor there actually on the P2 on the grid. So as I said, I forgot to mention actually that Shepard's got a penalty. Where was Chris Shepard? Oh, he's gone down to P6. We had a 5-place grid penalty actually for something he did previously in the last round in Germany or Hungary. It's going to be unfortunate. So it's going to be Catfield on the front row. So not as bad for Chris, but obviously he's going to start P4 on the grid. So he's going to be a bit more in a relaxed position as a result of that, because obviously, starting from P1 as well on a track like this, if you get a good exit after a source hairpin, you can just blast the way down at the road up to Eau Rouge, and then all of a sudden, you have to people have to rely on slipstream to catch up. If you're about 8/10 or a second behind someone, they could be up the road, and by the end of that first lap, they could be out of DRS range and gone. So it could be a big problem. For Butcher, if say that happened to Shep. Now they're very close together now, and hopefully, for everyone's sake, that it's going to be quite hopefully a clean start as a result. Looks like the pole position is going to go to Campfield here, so that's going to hopefully kickstart a season, because he's had quite a disappointing season actually. a lot of incidents, a lot of DNFs. As a result, he's down in top position in the standings, but not where we wouldn't expect him to be. He's had a couple of second places and a third place as well, but a lot of DNFs. He's had what 8 DNFs this season? Not where I'd expect. It can be a very difficult league. For because obviously a lot of cars. Be a lot of incidents, and sometimes you just get caught up all the time. Of stuff that sometimes is your fault, sometimes it's not your fault. But I say Cantfield would expect it to be a lot higher than where he is in the moment. So hopefully this will kickstart the season as we get to the later stages of the season. So we're in the final third of the season now. Obviously you've got Spa here, then Monza, and then we start to go into places like Interlagos and Japan and those sort of racetracks as well. So I'd say it's a lot of good racetracks coming up in the season. A lot of tracks where a lot of people actually like. So hopefully the action will get even more fierce and exciting as we get into the later stages of the race. Well, we're just going to move into the race session now and have everyone line up on the grid and do the formation lap and everything. As well, everyone's just going to be lining up on the grid now. I'll say everyone, feel free to everyone make their predictions well in the chat. I'm saying my prediction. I'm going to put Rfactor actually to win this race. I'm going to say, and my wild card is going to be Cliff van der Ven. So I backed him up in the warm up and start qualifying. I said I'm going to hope he gets to that top 5 because I've seen him race before a couple of times, and now he's in the mix where he's got class drivers around him. So I hope he can keep his nerve and do well. Say it's important for these drivers as well to do well on a weekly basis because obviously it's very early, I know, but there has been, people would start looking for drives next year as well for 2019. I would say it's a bit like the silly season that's coming up. So potentially you might get drivers sort of think, oh, I'd like maybe you want to race the Super Cup next year, or you maybe get new teams interested in the series. So it's going to be very, very interesting in that regard. So everyone's actually lined up on the grid now. But, it could be some negotiations for next season, potentially for 2019. But obviously, very, very early. I mean, there might be very, very little of that going on. But as you say, you never know in this world. It can be a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, and then all of a sudden you get a shock announcement come up. But we'll see what happens as the warm-up lap has now started. 31 cars on the grid today, and I'll take you through the grid right now. So Adrian Cantfield there, he's going to start from pole position in the Stacks racing car. Behind him, sharing the front row, we got Marcin Rybachuk. Row 2, got Matthias Moose and Chris Butcher, looking to hold on and maybe extend his championship lead here this evening. Row 3, got Matthew Williams and Chris Shepherd. Row 4, you've got Cliff van der Ven there and Wesley Stefano in the MDR car. Ivan Levanov and David Junt completing row 5. Luke Brown in there in the second of the MDR cars with Ross Woodford behind him, showing the 6th row. Row 7, Harris Parves and Craig Patterson there. He joined very recently actually to GPVWC. Did well in the Academy Series race around Hungary. So I think raced Germany. I've done a little bit of Super Cup as well around Hungary as well. And now he's in Formula Challenge here today with McKinley Engineering. So they will be showing the race 7. Row 8, we've got Peter Schutzer and Tom Davidson there. Then we got row 9, James Early and Cameron Wiltshire. Row 10, we got Thomas, Adrian Marahusa and Luke McGuire. Renan Mirror and Tom Lombards in row 11. Casper Michalak in the GPVWC Academy Series car and Kian Donaldson, showing row 12. Dan Cow and Fabian Ruder showing the 13th row, their 2 teammates there. Harry Graham and David Cooper showing the 14th row. Matthew Beavis and Daniel Brambrilla showing the 15th row. Just let you know, Matthew Beavis is actually streaming his race on his YouTube channel. And all on his own, Andrei Boratovsky in 31st position in the second of the GPWC Academy cars there. So let's all make their way around now, hopefully nice and safely. Obviously, Campfield is actually just lining up on this grid space now, so it'll take about 30 seconds probably about a minute or so before they're all lined up on the grid. Just going to keep an eye now, so make sure all those tyres and brakes are warm. Make sure you've got enough fuel in the tank as well. I've done a couple of races where people have actually, it's a long lap here, so it's quite easy to do sometimes to forget to fill up enough fuel on the in the car. It's taken quite a while actually to line up on the grid, but they're just making their way now. And no one's starting from the pit lane, like I predicted, apart from Beavis actually. He's starting from the pit lane and he's just parked the car up and he's escaped into the pits. So maybe he did forget to fill up fuel. Who knows? But he's going to start now in the pits. As we're just waiting now for the lights to go on. As they Catfield looking for that lightning start. Who is going to get on the podium today as the first, second, third, fourth and fifth lights come on? Who's going to get the win in race 1? As we're underway. As Catfield gets a great start. Actually, Rfactor defends immediately. As he covers the inside line into turn 1. As we look through the corner, is going to be any contact there. Some people free right behind us. A yellow flag. Well, there was a yellow flag at least, as everyone seems to have made it cleanly round the first corner. But here we go as Catfield goes through. Rfactor in second as they go through a rouge for the first time. Or flying through, a couple of people running wide. But everyone seems to have made it through, I think. Pretty sure they have, but here we go for the lead. Rfactor goes outside, Catfield tries to defend. They go back to down the Camel Straight, and there we go. Rfactor takes the lead there from Catfield. So Butcher comes in P3 ahead of Moose there, and Christian in P5. So the title protagonist there survives the first few corners and makes up positions as well. As they're all coming through down the hill into the hairpin for the first time. As we got down the field, Craig Patterson's lost his front wing already. He's got involved in an incident, as well as the car behind him, James Early. So they both have to come for the pits as soon as they can. But absolute disaster for them. I think it's going to be quite a busy pit lane because normally in these sorts of races, there is a few incidents. There's another car there. David Cooper, he's also got involved in an incident. He's lost his front wing as well. Everyone else seems to have got away with it. Luke McGuire hasn't as well. He's got a front wing. Ruder's lost his front wing. Tom Davidson's out of the race already, as well as Kean Donaldson. He's destroyed his car. So I don't know what's been going on there, but it's been an incident somewhat. We haven't got it on camera. But as I say, we'll try and get back to that if we can. Rfactor now leads the race from Catfield by about half a second as to get to the bus stop for the first time. It's an action-packed start there, as we've obviously missed some bits, but it's been Moose behind us. Go through the bus stop with Van der Veen round wide. He cuts the chicane. He rejoins the track quite safely, and he doesn't make any position, but he's right behind Williams. He's still in 7th place. He's got 2 cars behind him. Woodford and Dunn going for it. You're looking down the inside. He's made a bit of a look at a lunge. Contact there with Stefano. He's taking out his teammate. Luke Browning there and Leonov also involved there. There could be damage to both of the MDR cars as a result, as we've got a car running wild there, trying to rejoin Lombards there. I think it's a great start, actually. He's made up quite a few places. But Stefano with the lunge there down the inside, it was very, very, very ambitious. I think too ambitious myself. And he's paid the penalty result. He's down to 13th place. Ahead of him, we've got Browning challenging Leonov now as they go up to down the camera straight, up to chicane. And then Stefano again. Look at the contact there, Leonov is off. He's spun the car, he's gone into the wall. He's going to rejoin the track or try and rejoin in a safe manner there, but he's going all the way down the field, down to about P23 there. Rejoins the circuit, but a disaster for him. And so he's going to look up to try and recover. But here we go, back at the front. Butcher's made up a load of places. He's up to P2. He's up to P2 ahead of Catfield. So I think there might be an incident somewhere because you got Camfield there, Shepherd in 4th. So I think there might be an incident between those drivers, actually, between Butcher and well, he's made up a load of places, but well, he's just past Camfield, I think. So P2 there, Camfield there in P3 there as well. So Butcher has got the car's gap between him and Shepherd. Will Camfield attack Butcher, or will he let Shepherd pass? It's the question at the moment. It might be too early to tell. I'll say anything can either of those things could realistically happen. I think he's going to attack at the moment. It looks like he's quite close to Butcher. So he's going to look to attack. Rfactor leads now by 1.1 seconds ahead of Butcher. So the gap has extended. He's at DRS range for now. So they go on to the third lap here. And I say because now DRS is now enabled, of course. Catfield, as I go on board through on my view, I say he's going through overage now, quite in a clean manner. But have DRS on the butchers, see how much he closes up the last. The gap's half a second at the moment. DRS is open on his car, but I don't think he's close enough to make a challenge for a move here. He closes the gap, but knows the car though to go through the chicane there. Looking back down through the field, Van der Ven, he's past Moose. Moose is going right down the field here. It's started about 3-4. He's now down to P7. He's gone down a load of places, but Van der Ven on the charge now as he's looking up behind Matthew Williams. Now in P6 now is Van der Ven there as a result. In car 45 there, so I say be looking for that top 5 position. Of course, we've got reverse grid as well for race 2. I'm sure you guys know about that, but we look forward to that. So the people, guys like further down at the moment, like Luke Browning, Stefano, Lombards, Muru, Parvez, those sorts of drivers, Harry Graham as well. They'll be looking to get a reverse grid pole position potentially in the second race here today. Moving back to the front now, the gap now Rubicek up to 1.3, so he's pulled away from Butcher. I say we've got the low downforce setup here. It's lazy defend if you can. I say Butcher's pulled away slightly on Catfield here. That's still about 310, 410s. Let's go through the bus stop again. Catfield nice and clean actually through there, Butcher was a little bit scruffy on entry. He got away with it. He's going to complete the third lap now. I say the laps just flying past. Only laps of course here. So into La Source for the fourth time here as Captain got a little bit squiggly on exit there. Chef's probably a bit too far at the moment to attack him, but further just behind there, Van der Ven has passed Matthew Williams. So top 5 now for Van der Ven. He had a very good round last time out in Hungary. So his debut hit the curb there, looking at him very, very scruffy there, potentially. But Williams is now in the back with DRS available. You look to the outside. So they break side by side together. Van der Ven defends nicely there. I say, and then he got Moose behind him, and then Damage in 8th, and Woodford in 9th position there with Schultz. So he's got a great start. He's up in the top 10 actually. So he qualified about 17th, I believe, around that mark, and he's up in the top 10. He's done a great job so far. So it's still this battle here between 3 very, very class drivers here. Butcher, Catfield there, and Chris Shepherd as well. They've known each other for a long, long time, for many, many years. So they know their strengths and know their weaknesses. They know what they bring to the table, so to speak. As they go through, Butcher runs wide there onto the Astros turf. That's a little bit scruffy from him, but recovers it nicely. Goes through the back part of the circuit now, leading up to the bus stop chicane. Nicely there. It'll be interesting. I was thinking as well earlier today, before I did the commentary, I thought, are these drivers going to be looking to do, particularly top drivers, people like Butcher, people like Shepherd, people like Young, are they going to be wanting to do Formula Challenge next year? I assume they're going to be wanting to do Super Cup next year. Maybe with the team there at the moment, maybe for a different team potentially, because I know I've seen Chris Butcher, he's been testing Super Cup cars and he's done a Super League race as well recently as well. Well, is that the sort of market they're looking at next year? Who knows? But as I said before the race, the market will be open for teams that are looking for drivers for next season in both, well, in all Formula Challenge, Super Cup, and Super League. What will their plans be for next season? Time will tell, of course. But now we're back down the Camel Straight again. The 2 stacked cars shadowing the red area there of Butcher. As you down straight there, back to 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, of course. Rubicek pulling away at the front there, 1.8 seconds now the gap. So he's just cleared off into the distance there. He said, see you later, I'm out of here. As he goes through there, the long hairpin taken there in 3rd gear. And then go through now the corner with no name for the 5th time. Van der Ven now pulling away from Matthew Williams there in 5th place, so he's getting a bit of a gap. Not sure if he's going to be able to close it to the 3 cars in front of him, who's all battling away. It's possible in the latest stages of this race. He's got 2.5 seconds to close before we can do that. But he's pulling away from Williams, who's pulling away from Moose, who's pulling away from Young. So they're all gapping themselves a little bit here. No one's really challenging the other driver at the moment there. Got Schultz in 10th. Luke Browning down in 11th place. He's trying to make his way up to the top 10 here. Try and battle a few drivers. Then you've got Stefano in 12th. Tom Labart's in 13th. Murray there in 14th. I'll tell you what, Stefano's recovered quite nicely actually, but Murray there in 14th. And Harry Graham there right at the top 15 as it stands at this moment in time. Going back to the battle at the front now. Got Butcher, Cantfield there, and Shepley for a blank over these three at the moment as we've got lap traffic ahead. What's going on here? We've got Fabian Ruth there. Reed's out of the way there of the leader there, Rebachuk. As Butcher smokes up his tyres, he locks up under braking there and under power. But he gets away with it. You've got a nice gap now to Campfield. So it's at this point where, if they are thinking about the Drivers' Championship at Stax Racing, will Campfield get out the way of Shepherd? So Shepherd's going to have a good amount of slipstream here with DRS. Will he make the move? We're using DRS, of course, as Campfield moves over to he lets him pass. So, as I predicted, Campfield lets Shepherd fight, and he's going to now attack Butcher, who's got the lap car ahead of him. Fabian Rude, who's not getting out of the way, and that was a mighty close. Get the lift there, and Shepherd's attacking. Shepherd is attacking. There's a little bit of tie rubbing there. But, Butcher defends nicely there from Shepherd, but he got a little bit difficult there for a moment there for Butcher, as he had to as Rude got out of the way, but he didn't really do it in the smartest of places there, to be honest. But no harm really done there. As now Van der Ven looks to pass Fabian Rude there, he just pulls over. That's a lot more sensible there from Rude. So back to the battle here for second. Butcher, Shepherd. Shepherd all over the back now of Butcher now, as might be looking at sliding again into the corner against Butcher. He's going to be wearing out his tyres quicker than he'd like to. So you're down back straight now through the forest section. To the back of the circuit, and Shepherd now loads down the inside. They're side by side as they go into the flat outright left-hander here, and Shepherd through. Shepherd is past Butcher there with a nice calm manoeuvre there, you could say there. And Butcher trying to run outside, but no, he's just trying to set himself up here for the run down the pit straight up to the source. But Shepherd going to pull away now, and what's Campfield going to do here? Is Campfield going to get all up into Butcher's face, so to speak, or at least up to Butcher's gearbox? There's a slide there from Shepherd. He recovers it nicely though. Butcher's trying to get into Shepherd's slipstream there straight away. See Shepherd move over to the right of the track. Oh, and so Campfield there gets very, very loose at the back there. But such an intriguing battle. I'm just going to leave this battle there. It's actually weaving down the straight now. I'm just going to see if there's any other battles on the racetrack at the moment. A bit further down, a nice one here between Brambilla there in 19. Beavis just recovered from the pit lane start. Yeah, he's 20th at the moment. And near enough behind him, we got involved in the incident on the first or second lap as well. But they got Burn there as well, but near enough. He slips through, and it's going to be free wide here as he goes down Camel Straight here into braking zone. Here is Leonoff's on the grass. They both pass Umbrella, and what a move that is from Leonoff. That is absolutely superb. Oh, and he gets loose there. Beavis there got awfully loose there, but he recovered nicely. There's Brambilla's now looking, but what a move that is from Leonoff. That is superb late braking, free wide stuff there. And that is, well, he's cleared now. He's into 19th. He's going to try and close up to the guys ahead of him. That is absolutely superb. Really, really good stuff there. Just notice there as well, we've got Schultz being closed down for Browning and Stefano. So the two MDR cars looking to hunt down our cameraman here, Peter Schultz. Yeah, back up to the front now. We've got attacking. We've got Butcher and Campfield there side by side. But there, Campfield runs wide. He runs off the track. I'm not sure if he's going to be allowed to keep that position. I think he's going to hold back there, but he's going for it. He's going side by side. Okay, let's Butcher go through there. He realised what he'd done there. Ran wide off the track. And lets him through, so he's going to have another go. But look, he's closing up. Van der Vin's closing up. And so is everyone else behind, actually. Williams and Moose. If they keep scrapping here, this could be a really, really tasty battle here for this podium here. Rfactor's just cleared off the distance now. 3.5 seconds. That's just superb, isn't it? What great demonstration so far. It's on the 8th lap now. Cleared off in the distance while these lot have been battling. But Shepherd there in second, Butcher for their Campfield fourth. But watch out for Van der Ven. I'll tell you, if they keep scrapping like this, at this rate, it'll be going on the podium at this rate. If he closes up and passes, because it could easily happen if they get a bit too close for comfort at the front here. As we go into the hairpin once again. I don't think the tyre wear is that high around this circuit. It's a couple of long corners, but they've got a nice long stretch as well to cool the tyres down as well. So hopefully tyre wear won't be an issue around here as well. It's only 11 laps as well. It's not that I'm doing a Grand Prix distance by any means, but excuse me. As Butcher there is now gapping Campfield now. As Campfield's got to watch out for Van der Ven. He's closed right up onto the back. They're measuring Campfield here. He's going to be looking for a move any time soon, next lap or two. I think it's backed by GCA Mega, that team. So that is going to be, they'll be watching this with eagle eyes, I'm sure. But I'll tell you what, Van der Ven has been a stunning signing. I said he would be a class signing there. He's pulled away from Williams, he's pulled away from Moose as well. Yunt's up to 8. So he's made up a couple of positions from the start. Woodford there. Schultz and Brownie now all over the back. Peter Schultz there for 10th position. They're up to bus stop now. Oh, Browns, that's a cheeky little lunge. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That's the tightest of gaps. There's a bit of contact there, a bit of tyre up in. The Schultz goes through the chicane there. He keeps his position, and I think in that circumstance, well, there wasn't a lot of space for Brown to move to. He went for the move, and it was a bit of contact. Schultz has kept the position there. It might be something that Stuart's might want to look at later on after the event, but I don't think there's been a huge amount of damage done there, to be honest. Stefano watching this battle from the VIP position here. At the front now, the gap has stayed relatively stable. There's no one really close to each other there. They've all got a very similar gap, about half a second between each car there. Between 2nd and 5th. Half a second gap between the cars there, so nothing too major at the moment, but it says one mistake and it could go off the track very, very easily there. Rieberchuk now. Rieberchuk's made a mistake somewhere because the gap's only 1.6 seconds. 1.6 seconds there between Rieberchuk and Shepherd. So he's made a mistake somewhere. Could be tyres, but I reckon that's just a mistake really. He's pulling away a bit slightly now. But you just don't want to bottle it now. He's done well so far this race is Rieberchuk. So he doesn't mess this up now. He's done all the hard work. I think he's just coming as well. He's done. Looking at this, he did the last round and come 19th in both races. So this would be obviously one way to start your event. Start what you mean to go on, so to speak. He's obviously done the work and it's paid off for him so far. He's ahead of Shepherd, and look at Campfield. He's attacking Butcher again. Around the outside again. He's going to try it. But no cigar again. Van der Ven's going to be watching this from a very interesting position. He's all over the back now of Campfield. He's going to cross the line as he starts the 10th lap now. So a couple of laps to go now. Oh, Butcher locks up there into the first corner, and Campfield's got a run. Got a no, not quite gone over like that, but he's going to be all over the back of Butcher's gearboxes. He looks on the inside, looks on the outside, he's looking for a space. Just wait to use the speed. Oh, and off goes Van der Ven. He's wrecked his car there as he gets into the 30 air of the car that's ahead of him. And it's such a shame. He was in such a great position there to maybe capitalise. It's all gone wrong for Van der Ven. And he's wrecked the rear of the car. That's the DNF for him, unfortunately. That's such a shame. He's done such a great job all race, to close the gap down. There's more contact behind Browning. Oh, Browning's had to cut the corner as he's looking for that move down the inside. Schultz has had to cut the corner, and Browning's got a stop-go penalty. He's cut the corner by so much and too quickly, and he's got a stop-go penalty. So that has ruined his race and ruined his chances of at least a better position in the next race. So Schultz and Stefano will gain for sure for that. But as I was saying, what a shame that is for Van der Ven. Just an easy mistake to make because of 30 of these cars. I've done practice here myself. I follow cars. It's very, very easy to lose the back end as a result. But that's all happened now. But we'll move on as Williams is down the inside of Campfield, can't make the move stick. So just about going to the final lap here, but basically it's all spaced out now. So Rfactor is being followed here by Shepherd by 1.6 seconds, and a big gap there, 3 seconds then to Butcher. And Campfield as well. Williams is following Campfield very, very closely here. He's going to the chicane here for the perfect time. Moose is down to 6 as a result. You've got Belgian and Ross Woodford there. In 8th, and Schultz slides through the chicane. Contact there between Moon and Stefano as Browning goes into the back of those 2 cars there, back of his teammate as well. But Schultz is there getting a little bit rough around the edges now. He's getting a little bit shabby. As they go into the final lap now, but he's got to try and hold on to defend his position. Obviously, Browning won't be able to keep that position. He'll have to go through the pits. Say Rfactor now in the prime position. Just go look at the DNF. So Ken Donaldson retired very low. He's got a destroyed car. Tom Davidson, Craig Patterson also DNF'd as well. Cameron Roger also DNF. Luke McGuire as well. Fabian Ruder running into problems as well. He's a lap down. And Cliff Van der Veen also our latest retirement there as well. So we're about halfway through the last lap now. Rfactor 1.2 ahead of Shepherd. So no one in behind him is really close. This we'll keep an eye on for now unless something changes. So Rfactor should have this covered now. It's been a very, very good display. Obviously a recent signing for the team. And he's going to pay them back in the best way possible with a race 1 victory. He's spun it! He's lost it! That's my big mouth! Oh my goodness me, he's lost it with half a lap. Well, a third of a lap to go. He goes second place as well because Butcher's on the outside. And side by side, I cannot believe it. Shepherd's been gifted victory here as Butcher's going to pass for second. Well, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable stuff there. I cannot believe it. He just put a wheel on the grass and he's lost it. He's going to be attacking. But we've got to put Chris Shepherd's due here. He's been there where he's been at the front when it matters. And it's going to take the checkered flag here as a result. So he wins here at Spa-Francorchamps on the first race. But just going to snatch second for Rfactor. They're so close across the line. Williams there, Campfield. Moose there in 6th. Davidson in 7th. Ross Woodford there in 8th. Schultz over P9. Stefano and Browning batting for the line. As Brown, I think, just takes. Well, he would have taken 10th. But I say he's been. I think he's been disqualified as not taking his drive penalty. So Stefano will take 10th. Browning not taking his penalty there at all. So Murray will gain P11. Lombards in 12th. Aaron Brown there in 13th place. Matt Beavis in 14th. That's a great drive from starting from the pit lane in 31st. Dan Cal 15th. Adria Hamarusu there in 16th. Michalak in 17th for the Academy Series driver. Parvez, Brambilla, and Borotovsky will round up the top 20 here in the first race here. So what drama there in the very last stage of the race. Rfactor, he had it in the bag. He had it in the bag. There was no way that Shepherd was going to challenge him for a win. He could just cruise to the finish line. Runs a wheel onto the left-hand side, onto the grass, spins the car, and not only loses first place, he loses second as well. So I think he should be happy with a podium, but he's going to be picked second inside. He's going to drive, I think, with a lot of anger in the car, or depends on how if it's good anger or bad anger. But it's going to be such a difficult situation for him. He's got to try and just calm down and just try and use the energy that he's got inside at the moment in a positive way. Try and get through the grid, because obviously it's going to be a bit further down the grid now, about 13th, 14th, 15th, or whatever number they choose. And that is going to be very, very frustrating for him. But Shepherd, the ultimate beneficiary from that, he gets the win from Butcher. So the usual 2 at the front of the field. Rfactor, Williams there, and Campfield for Stacks there completes their top 5. As now my throat is screaming at me for a rest, so I'm just going to take a quick sip of my non-alcoholic beverage, I may add. As I say, Menno is still not here. I'm still flying solo here this evening. Just looking at DNF. So Keane Donaldson, an accident. Tom Davidson, suspension damage. DNF for Craig Patterson. Cam Rogers, suspension damage. So we must have had a crash. Luke McGuire, DNF. And Van der Veen, obviously, that big accident we saw in the later stages at Eau Rouge on lap number 9. So feel free to take a few minutes break, get yourself a cup of tea, a cup of coffee, or a cup of slightly stronger if you wanted to. Stick the kettle on or get in the fridge. So we'll be back in a couple of minutes' time. Welcome back. I've just taken a couple of minutes there for a little bit. We're just in some of the chat messages. What happened to Rubachuk? He spun. As I say, Jeffrey Funny points it out exactly right. Just the corner before Stavilo on the build up to the back straight, and he just put the wheel out on the grass, lost the back end into the gravel, reversed it into the gravel, and then just rejoined as quick as he could. Unfortunately, not quick enough to get out of Butcher. But that is what happened, I'm afraid. And, you know, I'd be very, as I say, very, very angry if that was to happen to me. Kian Donaldson also sent me a message. People wondering what happened to him. It was cold tires. Cold tires going for a Rouge. Lost it, crashed, wrecked the car. Very much around the bin, I believe. And as far as the way went off, crashed the car out the race. And that was very early days. But we're going to be looking now into race 2. So we're going to see who benefits from the reverse grid as well. People are going to make a few setup changes as well from the first race, because now with the server being reset, you can do pretty much as many changes as you like into the setup. So people might do a few tweaks here, a few tweaks there as well, and try and get a better setup and for some people a better result as well. But it's going to be very difficult for some people. Particularly people at Van der Veer, who's very, very quick, as we saw in race 1. He's going to start in the back, near the back of the grid, and see where people end up as a result. So I think as a result of this, Shepherd will close up to Butcher by a few points. At least the gap was before the event started. Just double check what the point situation was at the top. That is 14 points. So the gap would be now down to sort of like getting close now to, 9 points actually. I was going to say single figures now, single digits. 9 points now be the gap between the two drivers. So they could end up, in theory, I'm going to say if Shepherd was first in this next race and Butcher was third, they could end up on equal points going into the next round at Monza. How dramatic would that be if that was the case? Obviously, a lot could happen between. Obviously, in this race, of course, you never know what may happen. Obviously, it's going to be starting further back in the grid than they'd probably like to. That's the penalty of getting for winning the first race. As we just found out that 15 is the magic number for the reverse grid. So Dan Cow will be on pole position for this second race here. He'll be very, very happy with that. As I say, it's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes with particularly the IGC seasons coming up. He's done a lot of touring car racing in the past at BBTCC. And he's coming to GPV, done a reasonable job, I'd say, in Formula Channel so far. So he's gonna have to make the most of it and see what he can do from the pole position and see what comes up. See if he comes up trumps here in this second race. I believe, I don't think it's been announced yet, but I'm pretty sure he's going to be doing ITC this season. I think I know what team he's going with as well, but I'm not going to say anything just in case my sources or my information is not 100% accurate. So I'm going to leave it. I'm going to keep it quiet. But I still have got a little bit of the gossip in the pits. So now we've got 3 minutes now before warm-up ends. I say, obviously second race is normally a bit more chaotic. Normally when a few incidents happen as well, as I'm just watching someone drifting through long way ahead of Rfactor there, actually drifting the car as he touched the grass on the outside of the corner. That was very, very dramatic. But it's been it's going to be interesting one, isn't it? This second race always is. It's always, I say, people slightly slower in general, slightly slower starting the front. The quick guys try and make his way through the traffic as much as possible without ruining a car. And that's the thing, as we saw in the first race. Van der Ven, start of the race, going through it past the Rouge. All needs a bit of 38 to hit the wrong place of the car, and they're sparing off into the barrier like a Jack Villeneuve or Ricardo Zonta back in the day. Back in '99 when he speared off in qualifying, going a bit too hard and doing barrel rolls and somersaults and God knows what else for BAR back in '99. But so something like that could very easily happen in the race. I'm surprised it happened in the first race. I didn't catch it. It may have happened in the first lap, but I didn't catch anything. I'd say it could be very easily happen to one of these drivers because that sort of situation, you never know when it's going to happen. It could happen. One lap it could happen where you hit 38, it affects the car. One lap you'd be fine. So it's very difficult to predict that. So I'm just going to run down the initial. I'm just going to run the top 5 of the grid actually. Just been announced. So Danko on pole. Matt Beavis will be starting P2, considering he's starting back in the grid in the first race. He's going to start the front row for race number 2 here, so that will be terrific for him. Harry Graham will be in P3. Alongside him will be Tom Lomberts and Ronan Muru. He's been around a long time now as Ronan. He can be right in P5 there as well. So that is the initial grid. And I'll say I run down the grid when when everyone's on track and they're doing a formation lap. And we'll see what action occurs. Just a reminder, I'll say the people who've just joined and may have not watched since the start of the broadcast. I'll say we got the next. We got obviously Super Cup, Super League tomorrow and Thursday, and then next week we got Academy Series. That's back on the 21st, so next week. That's at Monza. So people will be looking to get Academy Series drive or just have a bit of fun there as well. They might be just trying the car for the first time, or as I say, just a bit of fun. That's what it's all about. That'll be next week at Monza. I'll say 2 days later, it's going to be the launch new ITC season. That's the 2 divisions at Poznan, 23rd of August. That will be so next Thursday. I'll say that will be live here at GPVWC as well. That particular broadcast. I say 30 teams taking part, or 31 teams, I think it is. Over 60 drivers taking part. It'll be some top class competition. Paint swapping, door banging, you name it, it'll be there, I'm telling you. It will be action packed like you wouldn't believe, the ITC. I say very interesting calendar as well. 8 rounds, I believe it is. You're going to place at Okayama, Brands Hatch, I say Poznan as well. So that will be a tremendous spectacle for the whole season. A lot of drama, a lot of action. Controversy, I'm sure, as well, but the main thing would be fantastic racing as a result. So we're just going to go to the second round here of the round, you could say, of the event. But I say the grid is just about to be lined up. One thing I haven't mentioned, I forgot to mention this earlier. I'm sure most of you here will have known now, unless you've been living in a cave somewhere for the past week or 2. But we've got GPVWC Day at Milton Keynes and Silverstone. I believe it's December 2nd, I believe. So most of the people attend, a lot of people attend that every year. This year it's Milton Keynes and Silverstone. There's going to be karting, there's going to be drinking, there's going to be fun, there's going to be good catch-ups with people. And I say, I hope everyone who does go there has a fantastic time, you know, because it means that so much of these people, they put in so much hard work all year to have an event like that for all the people that do attend, including myself. I may be there myself. I'm having a little think about it. But as I say, that will be a tremendous event. Obviously, plenty of time for people to prepare. It's only August now, so you're talking, what, nearly 4 months or so to prepare for that event. And I say quite good routes into, even if it's just you go to Silverstone for the one day or Milton Keynes for one day, there's very good routes into the city of Milton Keynes, and from Milton Keynes to Silverstone again, easy access there as well. So if people are interested, I say keep an eye on our Discord or the forums and see you know, how to get there. I'm sure people give advice how to get there. You know, if you need a hand, I'm sure people give list out and stuff. But I say that's another discussion for another day. I'm going to run you down the grid for the second race here as they go through Eau Rouge. So Dan Cowell, we're relying on pole position here for the second race. He'll be delighted with that. Matt Beavis will be sharing that front row with him. As I said here, he's doing a live stream on his YouTube channel. Feel free to give that a watch. That'd be quite an interesting one. I bet the first race was interesting watching from his perspective, going through all his cars. Harry Graham and Tom Lombard will be sharing the second row. Renamuru and Wesley Stefano sharing row 3. Peter Schultz and Ross Woodford there in row 4. David Junt and Matthias Moose will be sharing row 5. Adrian Campfield and Matthew Williams row 6. Martin Rivachuk and Chris Butcher there, row 7 for them. So they'll be looking to fight through the field with Chris Shepherd stuck behind them. And Thomas Adramir Hosta, 16th place for Rob Blue. Casper Michalak in the Academy car will be sharing row 9 with Harris Parvez. Daniel Brambilla and Andrei Borotowski there on row 10. He's in the other Academy car. Ivan Leonov and Derek Krupa there on row 11. With Luke Browning, a disqualification last race being shall I say, a bit naughty. But he got the punishment that for not doing stop his drive-through. James Early sharing row 12. He's actually starting the pits, which is a bit strange. He's obviously missed the grid or decided that it's better starting the pit lane. Fabian Ruder and Cliff Van der Ven sharing row 13. Watch out for Van der Ven if you can. He'll be charging through the field that you wouldn't believe. Luke McGuire and Cameron Roger sharing row 14. Row 15 there, Craig Patterson and Tom Davidson. And sharing the last row by himself, Kean Donaldson there in row 31st place on the 16th row there. Hoping to actually finish the race this time, at least. Fingers crossed for him and the other 30 drivers taking part as well. As it's just lining up on the grid now, at least the front row as well. The rear of the grid will take a little bit longer to get there, of course. So we'll look through the grid now. Everyone's been very sensible on the formation lap. I've done broadcasts before on a few occasions where there have been incidents on the formation lap. Normally in the Academy series, there's been spins, there's been crashes, there's been all sorts. So at least in Formula Challenge, everyone's a bit more prepared. Well, most people anyway. And a little bit more sensible on their formation laps. But Kean Donaldson now just lining up his car on the grid, as well as Tom Davidson. They've lined up. So we've had the action of race 1 here. That's been a big cut. What is race 2 going to deliver here now? Can Dan Cowell be able to manage the pressure of being on the pole position? I'm sure he will. They've all got launch control and ABS to manage through turn 1 as 5 lights are up. Lights are out and they're off as Cowell gets a decent start. Beavis there gets alongside him into the source hairpin now for the first time, as there's a lunge there from one of the red cars there. They all make it through turn 1 fairly safely. A little bit of contact there at the back. But, 3 wide here beyond. We've got to watch this. Look at this. There's Schultz, there's Stefano, and there is also Ross Woodford. There's a crash there already. Harry Graham's off, and it's a huge part of this car's rolling. This car's going everywhere. It's an enormous accident. Harry Graham there's gone off. This car's barreling. The track's completely blocked. There may be a red flag here, potentially. Harry Graham's gone. Wow, he's on fire. That's literally a bonfire there. Chris Butcher's been involved as well. Huge damage on the car. He's been hugely affected there. Oh, it's another one. There's another huge incident. Krupa there and Shepherd. Shepherd's rolled over the fence. Chris Shepherd's rolled over the fence to the track. And he's DNF straight away there, Krupa. Butcher's been involved. Emery Host, there's so many cars involved. This is just chaos. So Emery Host has to pit. So let's break off. Butcher's just charging through his way through the field, but he's got no front wing either. Those 3 cars have no front wing. Let me just try and keep up with this. It's more carnage. Michalek is off in the academy car. He's ahead of Butch. He's just rejoined very dangerously there. Davidson also involved there as well. We've got Schultz. He's run off the track. Luke Browning's got no front wing. Williams has got no front wing. Maguire's got no front wing. What on earth has been going on? But at the front, oblivious to this, Beaver's just taken the lead and is leading by 2 seconds from Dan Cow. Around the outside goes Lombard. He's going to try and take P280 lunges down inside. Great move. That was very much. Oh, was it? He's cut the chicane. He's going to. Well, if he's not keep that's it. Cow takes that position from Lombard there. But I've never seen a start like that in all the times I've commentated so far. That is an enormous part up, and I'm surprised the races keep going. Actually, I thought that'd be a red flag for sure. But we've kept going. I say the field's been very much affected from that. The Beavers there, Cow, Lombards, Woodford. Ronan Moore is still in P5. He's the one who had a bit of a lunge into La Source, but he got away with it, you know, sensible in the end. Stefano's made up a lot of places up in P6. Rybachuk's been a big winner from this. He's in P7, but he's got a gap of 6 seconds behind Stefano in P6. Van der Veen, he's up to P8. He's avoided all the carnage. He started from like P24 or around that sort of mark. He's now in P8. That's a huge jump for him. From Biller in 9th, Cameron Roger in 10th. Browning's made up a load of places. He's back in his P11, but he's got no front wing. He still hasn't pitted. He's just going to cause Cash Patterson there, trying to pass him. Oh, it's so much understeer now. Browning, he might cause Patterson some problems here, but he's up in P12, trying to make his way past Luke Browning. He's making himself very difficult to pass here. Let's have a look. As we got Davidson there early. It's just been carnage, absolute carnage. Yeah, loads of people are pitted as well. We've got people with a load of damage. So Shepherd's DNF, Parvis is DNF, Leonov had a drive-through but DNF'd anyway. Harry Graham, Moose, and David Judd as well. So both Red Arrow cars have been badly affected, as have both of the Stacked cars, because you got, well, Butcher down in 21st for Red Arrow. And then I'm pretty sure I saw also Catfield is up the road a little bit, he's up in P20. So both title-winning teams and drivers and teams. All the drivers have been affected either DNF'd or Mars at the back, so they're going to hardly get any points at all from this race. But Matt Beavers doesn't care. He's 3 seconds up the road from the next car. He's up in miles ahead by himself. Lombard's in second. Cow is falling into the pack. Yeah, he's got Woodford right behind him now in fourth, and he's got Muru and Stefano trying to hunt them down. Let's go through a rouge again. Oh, it's off the back. Oh my goodness me! Woodford had an enormous sign. He's ran brilliantly well to save that car. But he lost, again, dirty air, lost the back of the car, but he did save it this time. It's very impressive. Muru capitalizes though. He's up to P4. Stefano, so not looking to make the move there. But Muru makes a move up to fourth. I say this is the main battle now on track at the moment. Muru, Woodford there, and Stefano now. So keep an eye on the progress of Butcher and Campfield, but obviously that's been no Shepherd's out of the race and Yum's out of the race. 2 big players in the championship. They've both been badly affected here at Spa. And that's, as I said, the dangers are starting in the middle of the pack. As it's come to form here. All the top guys, top guys in the championship, I was to say, or pace-wise, they've all been knocked out. Beavis, they're 3.2 ahead of Lombards now, and I say his teammate managed to bottle it in the first race, Rybachuk. I say hopefully Beavers will actually keep it on the track and not do what his teammate did in the first race and actually win this race. That's going to be his aim anyway. But now we've got Muru all over the back of Dan Cow. Dan Cow did have a bit of a reprieve for a moment, but now he's got Muru all over the back of him. This valve of the last podium position of third. Cow really defended, taking defensive line. Muru around the outside, the side-by-side for the chicane. Muru, oh, contact. dodgy contact there. Muru went for a gap that wasn't really there. But I say 3 riders to go down into La Source, and Woodford's going to capitalise here and make up 2 places by the looks of things. And Stefano, no, he's not, because Stefano's drilled into the back of his car. And if Woodford, dangerous rejoin there from Woodford as well. Rubachuk's been affected by that. You let Rubachuk go, but Stefano has caused a little bit of chaos there, but Dan Cow ain't going to mind. He had all that pressure, and now they're all a little bit behind him. You know, Murray's now about a second behind him. Stefano caused that incident there. He's in P5. Van der Veen now up to P6. So he's going to be looking. I'll tell you what, the way he's been going in race 1, he'd be looking at the podium spots, keeps it clean and keeps it smooth. Rubachuk and Woodford, Brabilla, Cameron Roger there. Craig Patterson in 11th place. Ruder, Kean Donaldson's up to 13th place. He started from the back of the grid. He switched the number from 31 to 13. That's where he started with P31. Now it's 13th place. He made 18 places from the start. Brilliant job. He's avoided all, again, he's not only avoided all the chaos. And now look at the back of Fabian Rude here. So I'm going to look back early there in 14th. Davidson in the last points position at the moment in 15th place. And if we're looking at the cars, so Campfield's made its way up to 18th place. We got Browning and Butch out about here. They're going to be loving this, but they're not where they'd be wanting to be on track, but they do like battling each other. Browning there and Butch getting a little bit sideways. Obviously, he'll have damage on the car from the incident he had earlier on. Looking through the field, we've got another. Peter Schultz is also out of this race. He's just DNF as well. It's another unfortunate retirement. But Beavis is actually been caught a little bit here by Lombards. The gap is now 2.8 seconds between the 2 cars. Actually, no, about 2.6 as they cross the line now. So Lombards is starting to wheel in a little bit. Maybe Beavis might be seeing a nice touch, but so it's not the highest of wear tracks around here. It's only 11 laps long. Muru has passed Dan Cow. This is about what we're going to be focused on for now. Stefano and then Van der Veen closing up on all 3 of them. As Muru goes through Eau Rouge now. So Stefano's going to be in DRS, well, close to DRS range. You get more of a slipstream from Cal than Cal from Muru. You're down a straight, Cal goes defensive. Cal's back. Does well. So in that 4th position, so he'll be really happy. It's Craig Patterson's DNF. Craig Patterson is DNF from 11th place. I'm just going to see if I can get a replay of this. Has he done the Curse of Eau Rouge? Yes, he has. Into the back. He followed the car behind him, ahead of him, and he goes straight. He reverses the car. He's following Cameron Roger, catching Cameron Roger, but just the dirty air just affected the aerodynamics of the car and backwards into the wall. So he's another victim of Eau Rouge there. But he'll be back for another day, I'm sure. He'll be back for the next round at Monza. Stefano and Van der Veen are both past Dan Cow. We've got Muru's just pulling away from all 3 of them. But Stefano and Van der Veen, as Dan Cow's going to drop him back now, he's going to have Rybachuk going to be closing down on him as well as Woodford. But now you can see, as I said, the gap has really opened up between 2nd and 3rd. I mean, Lombards and Muru's about 7 seconds just under. So it's literally going to be battle for 3rd at best as it stands at the moment. As we're going to start the 6th lap here, so halfway through the race. As it stands, as we got Stefano Van der Veen there as well. I say looking, no. He's going to just follow suit of Stefano. Let's go up towards Eau Rouge. Van der Veen just trying to get into Stefano's mirror just to put him off for Eau Rouge, the looks of things. Once they go through, oh. So every driver now is going to go through Eau Rouge. If they know about the incidents through Eau Rouge and the dirty air, if they're following the car behind, they know. If they're following the car in front, they know it's going to be problems potentially. As Harry Graham has DNF'd as well. As we've got Browning who's for him. Well, he's just left the server at least. I think he actually was DNF'd before. I just noticed he left the server, so it's my mistake. He was already out of this race. The gap now between Beavis and Lombards there, 3.5 seconds now. So it's about this gap that Rybachuk had on Shepard. Then he dropped back to about 1 second, and then the incident happened at the final sector of the final lap. I'd say Beavers looks comfortable. Again, another very experienced driver. And I always say anyone who's looking to maybe put their nose into another team next season, this is the way to do it. You know, you never know what teams may be applying next season, what driver moves may happen or may not happen. And I say if people are looking for a move, this is the way to do it. Get up the front of a Formula Challenge grid and prove your worth. But Van der Ven, what a move that is. I've just noticed P4 Van der Ven with a tremendous move around the outside of Wesley Stefano there for P4. Around the outside of the bus stop. Brilliant pass. Stefano looking to attack back now into La Source Happen. So I'm going to try and get the cut back on exit, but Van der Ven looks like he's got that position. But another tremendous move over Van der Ven. It's up to P4 again. Stefano right behind him as they go through a Rouge. Ooh, and then great run out of the Rouge by Stefano as the side by side, and he'll have DRS as well with Stefano. And he should be able to pull past Van der Ven with the assist of DRS. As now he's looking to defend. Just behind them, we've got Dan Cow, and Rybachuk is now all over the back of Dan Cow. So Dan Cow still fairly new to Formula Challenge and GPVWC in general. So he's just looking to get this experience of running out front of the field and defending from other cars. See where he ends up in this almost like a lottery for race really. So we've got Woodford still behind him, P8, just having a watching brief over these two. Rybachuk still trying to look for a way past Cow. He's got a bit of a run on him as he goes up to the chicane. Round the outside goes Rybachuk. That's a great move. If you can hold it very close together, nearly touching wheels. But that's another tremendous pass from Rybachuk there. We've had one from Van der Ven around the outside at the bus stop, and now Rybachuk there on Dan Cow. Tremendous overtaking today. But speaking of overtaking, Van der Ven might be looking to do it again. 2 laps out of 2. Stefano passed, of course, down Camel Straight. Will Van der Ven look to do it again here as Stefano runs wide onto the AstroTurf there. Van der Ven looking around the outside again. No, he can't do it. I say Stefano learned his lesson for the first time, but Woodford is looking to pass Cow. Again, has to go up to, he's gone again round the overtaking him round the bus stop. And as I say, that's now Cow down pits. The pole's just now down to P8 here. But he's going to, as I say, learn experience there for him. But Van der Ven's passing Stefano up to a Rouge. So we're on the 8th lap now. Oh, and there's the golf. And Van der Ven was a little bit wide out of there. Stefano have DRS yet again. So this is a tremendous battle. This is for they banged tyres. Banged tyres there down straight. Let's say tremendous battle between these two. Rybachuk's going to be looking to close up the gap between two up to these two, I should say. Closing the gap he is indeed. He's only half a second now behind Stefano. Just to let you know, the gap at the front is 3.7 seconds between Beavis there and Lombards. That's not our main focus now. Our main focus is Stefano and Rybachuk. Rybachuk looking to make up for this point when race won by not winning it in the end. Let's say P3 got in the end there. Looking through, get into that top 5 now. Stefano defending really well, but now losing touch now to Van der Ven. Van der Ven is now passed, and looks like he's sealed the deal with that pass there. He's now closed up, he's going to try and close up on his teammate Murray there. So really good stuff for the result here for the team. I say TTF Racing, you know, they took the plunge on Van der Ven, you know. I say I knew his reputation elsewhere, but they might have seen it as a bit of a risk. But at the moment, the risk has paid off. He's showing tremendous speed. I say getting out at the front now, 4.7 seconds. I mean, that's a tremendous gap on Lombards. Murray not really closes the gap too much on Lombards. Gap's still 6 seconds. Just starting now their 9th lap of this race. I'm just going to look back through the field now just to see where our championship protagonist is. I mean, Butcher, he's still not in the points, he's still 18th. He's now ahead of Krupa. And where's Luke Browning gone? He's battling Browning. Wow, that is timing. I just seen Luke Browning coming out the corner with no name, crash into the barrier, break off his front wheel and suspension, his front wing, and DNF from the race. I'd like to thank you for the commentator's curse there. Oh, what a disaster for Browning. I say, he's got the speed, no question about it. He's got fantastic pace. He just cannot deliver in a race situation. He looks like, it's almost like he's driving 110% all the time. He just needs to chill out. It's not a long race, but it's still a race distance he needs to complete. He got disqualified from the first race for not taking his penalty, and now a DNF from this one. I mean, not winning races in real life, but if he wants a good sim racing career, he just needs to. He's got pace. It's frustrating. He's got pace. He just cannot. He's just not consistent. He's just getting into trouble all the time. Looking for he's got the talent. He just needs to sort of cap that talent that he's got, and just not looking to jump leads and bounce all the time. I'll say he'll be back for the next round, I'm sure. I think he's been secretly. I think he's doing testing for a Super League team potentially for the next round, but I'd say that's not confirmed as of yet. I don't know that being a confirmed deal as of yet. But we're looking now back through the field. Loads and loads of gaps. There's no one really battling too close to cars actually. The TTF guys, and they're not gonna be pushing each other too hard, you'd imagine. Closest proper battle I've just seen, Rfactor. He's got involved in an incident. P10, no front or rear wing. He's crashed the car somewhere. I think it's been too late for me to have a look now. But Rfactor's going into the pit lane, and that is his race ruin. So first race, lost the win. Second race, I don't know how long his pit stop's going to be, but he could very much be out the points, which would be an absolute disaster for him. Because he's looking good as well. Keane Donaldson, by the way, as a result, up to P11. James Early up in 10. What a brilliant race. 20 places now for Keane Donaldson. He's made up in this race. That's a tremendous job by him. Obviously, a lot of incidents, but he's capitalised on that. You can't have to go at him for making up 20 places. That is tremendous. The points finish for him at this rate, he'll be collecting. How many points be collecting for that? 5 points at the moment for the team. He's just signed for, actually. I think he signed for him today. It's great for him. Just seeing a battle here between Matthew Williams here and Tom Davidson in the downforce car as they go up down, come straight up towards the braking stone chicane. Davidson squeezing out Williams there, making a pass there for 13th place. So a good job from him. Maguire round at 0.7, 15th place. So Rfactor comes out 18th place. Butcher's in 17th. Campfield's in 16th. So they're on the very edge of the points, but it's a long, big gap to Luke Maguire. 4 seconds the gap now between him and Campfield, and then Butcher is currently nearly 12 seconds from the point. So a lap and a half to go. Doesn't look likely, does it, guys? Which is unfortunate for them. But as Matthew Beaver starts his last lap here, comfortably in the lead, 5 seconds the gap, and looking now for his first Formula Challenge win here. I say Beavis as well. He's had. Just looking at his results here, he's quick. He's had a third, fourth, and a fifth. A couple of DNFs along the way. I say he's got some serious pace. And I say he's come in. I say in recent rounds here. His first round was back a little while back ago now in Austria. That was his first round of the season. So I just had to think now where he was. But yeah, tremendous job from him. Just notice that Cliff Van der Vin's past Renan Muru. So from DNF in the first race, Van der Vin is going to finish in P3 in this race. He's 10 seconds behind the leader. Outstanding job by him. Another points finish for him because he got a points finish or 2 in the first round of Formula Challenge. And I'll tell you what, if he is thinking about taking part in 2019, watch out for this guy. If he does Formula Challenge next year, you got very, very strong contender here for the championship, I think. Really, really strong contender. I've seen him drive single seats before. Very, very quick. And so he had a flag that just popped up there. I don't know who that's for. It might have been Krupa actually, potentially. Might have just DNF, but so I might have that for another day as Beavis passed the academy car there. as he comes up at the back straight here for the final time this evening. So the team threw away the first race. They're not going to throw away this one, are they? Let's face it, it goes round towards the bus stop for the final time. And Matt Beavis, who started from the pit lane in the first race of the day, is going to come across here to win his first Formula Challenge race here as he goes through the bus stop for the final time. Matt Beavis here takes the checker flag and wins here in Spa-Francorchamps at race 2 here in for the challenge here. Fantastic job by him. Fantastic work by the team. They've also got a lot of preparation this race. It's just result they got a first and a third out of it. So brilliant job by them. Lombards will be delighted there with second place. Van der Vin as well. Brilliant drive from him to finish third. Murray in fourth. Stefano in fifth. Ross Woodford there in sixth place. Dan Cowell in seventh. So he did respectably well considering first pole for him. He looks delighted. He's doing donuts anyway. So he'll be happy with that. Brambilla comes across the line in 8th. Cameron Roger in 9th. James Early in 10th. Keane Donaldson up 20 places from the start. He's in P11. Tom Davidson there in 12th position. Maguire just past Fabian Ruder. 13th and 14th. And Matthew Williams will take the last points position as Campfield there finishes 16th. Butcher down in 17th place after the incident early on. Always very difficult to recover that. He's not going to be best piece, I'm sure, but things like that happen at this level. There's always incidents in the race. Reebachuk's likewise. I'm not sure whether he's taken out or he just had an incident, had a crash. Maybe a no rouge job, to be fair, but down in 18th. Admir Arahusu there in 19th. Borotowski there, rounding out the top 20 there. Again, I'm just going to have another non-alcoholic beverage. I'll be right back in a moment or so. Hello there and welcome back. I hope you've all recovered from that. I say 2 fantastic races, a lot of action, a lot of incidents, a lot of controversy, and some unexpected moments there for sure. But at the end of the day, we've got our results here now for the races. So we might get a couple of interviews from the drivers if they want an interview. But they may not. They may not bother. But you never know. But it's been an interesting event for sure. I'll say so. As I say, first round, Shepherd there with the unexpected victory, and I think the championship standings it'll still be Chris Butcher by 49 points. It'll be into the next round as we go to Monza now in 2 weeks' time. That will be again. I think that's going to be like today. I think it's going to be a lot of action, a lot of chaos because obviously a lot of opportunity for overtaking around Monza, a lot of slipstreaming into hard braking zones, potentially a little bit of trouble there. But as I say, waiting for a couple of interviews there. But so we got Shepard winning the first race, and we got Matt Beavis there winning the second race there as well. So it doesn't look like it's going to be anyone up for an interview, which is a little bit strange, but let's say that's what people maybe just sort of chill out. So I'll give it a couple of minutes for them to come into the room. I've actually got a driver here now. Actually, it's Tom Lombard's here. Just going to drag him into the room. Now. We'll have a little chat with him. He's had a great second race there into the points. So I got second place there. So here is Tom Lombard's now.
Hello.
Hello there. Great second race there. I must admit, you avoided all the chaos, all the carnage. And you come home with a P2. So you must be absolutely delighted with that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the first race for this in GPV. Actually, I didn't expect much from it, but yeah, it was really great. In the second race, in the beginning, like the guy in front spun out, and then I think I just heard a bunch of collisions.
Yes, there was a lot of a lot of collisions indeed. We even had Chris Shepherd jump over a fence, so we had a lot of incidents there. A lot of unhappy drivers, I suspect, as well. But for sure, it's you were the beneficiary from it, you know. So no
Yeah, exactly.
complaints there. So absolutely delighted for you, because I think you've done a couple of Academy Series races, I think, before, haven't you?
No, I've done in GPV. I've just last week I did the ITC test race.
So I knew I recognised the name from somewhere, but I knew you haven't done a lot of Formula Challenge, you know. So you know, it's good to see. It's obviously signed up for a team. Obviously, they've taken the risk, and you've repaid with the
Exactly.
reward of a second position there. So I'm asking this to a few drivers. Obviously, 20. Obviously, we're getting to the later stages of the season now. It's not all the deals are happening, but where are you sort of looking at yourself for potentially 2019? Are you looking to do Formula Challenge next season potentially?
We'll see where it goes. The thing is, I'm sort of depends how much free time that I have, but yeah, it's surely interesting after a great impression from today.
Yeah, sure. I mean, you know, benefiting from obviously potentially reverse grids, you can benefit from that.
Exactly.
But it's a fantastic job from yourself, and I'll say you should be extremely proud. And maybe I always say maybe if you have got the free time, if it's not a permanent deal we've got at the moment, there might be another team who might be interested, because they look at the results and think, yeah, we'll say we might snap them up, or say you could do. I'll say we've got Academy Series as well next week as well, so at Monza. So if you've got a drive for that for the next round, so you can always do Academy Series and maybe show someone else that you've got the skills there as well, or potentially an Academy Series drive as well.
Well, yeah, I didn't give exactly a bad impression from today, so
No, not at all.
it's
Not
very
at
useful.
Fantastic. So congratulations. I'll say my throat's killing me, so I'll leave it there for you. But congratulations today, and very well done. I hope you get a drive elsewhere later in the season.
Thank you.
Fantastic. So I'm going to bring our next driver in now. I'm sure he's not going to be best impressed from race 2, but I say we got a certain Mr. Chris Butcher here.
No, I do.
Right now. So you're right, Chris. I'll say you had obviously a very unexpected result in the first race after what happened in the later stages there, and obviously a very an unfortunate start and finish to the second race there as well. But you do come out of the championship for 9 at the moment before penalties and incidents are obviously in consideration. 9-point gap. So obviously not the best of point for yourself. But obviously Shepherd also been affected as well. So how are you feeling for the next round and onwards?
Just glad to get that one out of the way, to be honest with you. You know, in the 2 weeks building up to this, I've really been struggling for pace, which, you know, it kind of surprised me because I enjoy the track, and I got my first win for Red Arrow here last season. But then, you know, to be fair, I'm glad I just scored points in the first race, if I'm honest, because I got about an hour's sleep last night. You know, sort of various sort of things in my personal life that I won't go into here. But yeah, so glad to get out of that one with some points in the second place that were, you know, unexpected. I think I'm a bit annoyed that the leader dropped it and gifted Chris a win, but there you go.
Yeah, I'll say that was really unfortunate for Reaper Trip there as well. He just drops it in the gravel and just spun completely. And then you probably saw your eyes open up as you got close towards it. So you got the second place out of that one. But obviously the chaos happened in the second race there as well. I thought it'd be a red flag there, to be honest, because I saw the incident and cars just rolling over and crashing out. Shepherd jumping over the fence. I thought it'd be a red flag for sure. Just carried on. So you must have been peed off, you could say, from that.
Yeah, it was a bit ridiculous, if we're honest. I don't know how it all kind of started off, but when, you know, me, Williams, Shepherd all arrived at the top of a rouge, it was just completely blocked. There was absolutely nowhere to go.
A car park, wasn't it? I just saw it. I thought, oh, that's a lot of cars off the track there. The whole red block. Completely.
You know, you're doing 260 kilometers an hour at the top of there, so there's no reaction time at all. Obviously, you know, when on the first lap, when the top sort of 15 are covered by about a second and a half on the first lap. So, you know, really, it should have been restarted. I think we had a similar. I can't say it was exactly the same, but we had a similar situation last season, and the race got restarted. You know, I suppose in a way we can say that at least it didn't affect the championship. You know, it didn't. We were all badly affected by it. I think only Williams scored any points out of that, and it was only a couple. So, you know, in terms of the championship fight between me and Chris, you know, it's as it was at the end of race one. You know, one of us hasn't gained a ridiculous advantage out of it. So there's that. But you know, everybody wants to see clean races and a clean fight for the championship. And you know, it's just another race that went in the bin really.
Yeah, it's frustrating. I'd say, you know, you got Monster coming up next. I'll be discussing this with Tom actually. Just one final thing. Obviously, we're getting to a bit of later stages of the season now. I've just had a discussion in the broadcast saying potentially where you think of the race next year. I mean, I've seen you test Super Cup. I've seen you've raced Super League as well. What are your sort of thoughts next year? Are you looking to stay with Red Arrow potentially? Because I know you and you have been a partnership, you know, teammates for a long time now. Is that something you're potentially going to be looking for next season, or you may be thinking something a bit fresh or a bit different?
Well, when I signed for Red Arrow, you know, it was a long-term plan. You know, we want to start at the bottom and work our way up. So it's very much a case of looking at Super Cup next season. I think we had an opportunity to join Super Cup last year, but we declined it because we wanted to, you know, have a serious championship push at every level. It might not come off this year, so you know that might backfire on us. But certainly the idea is to, you know, have a decent amount of success at each step in the ladder, and I'm in it for the long haul, hopefully.
I'll say fingers crossed you do well. It's about time you won a championship at last. It's been a lot of years of frustration for you. You've been so close. It's about time you've actually won some. But say you got a 9-point gap. Fingers crossed for you. And I'll say you and Shepard have been looking at the standings of class apart from most other people. Obviously, other people have bad luck as well. But you two have been far and away the most consistently quick drivers out there. But I'll say I wish you wish you the best of luck for this season, Chris. Anyway, and good to talk to you anyway. And thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks very much, guys.
No worries. So I'll now bring our second Chris into the room. I'll say he's been having an unexpected trip, you could say, in the last race. A certain Mr. Chris Shepard here. I just want to ask, what are the Belgian spectators like?
Funny that, isn't it? I didn't even get a chance. It just defaults me back to the pits. I was just saying, I was hoping that it was just going to be left on the side and I would have just watched the race from there, or at least made my own track in the forest somewhere.
I know, it's shambles. I saw it.
Unbelievable.
On the fence, I thought red flag. I was just saying the butcher just saying red flag for sure, and they carry on with it. And it's just like, and it's good because it's good in a sense because Chris was just saying neither of you've gained from this, so no one's getting like a race win and you've had a DNF or vice versa.
Yeah.
But you know, I saw the track blocked like from over Rouge, and I thought that's a big pilot for a start. And it's just restart the race and get on with it. But you know, these things happen, and you know, they carried on with it. But
it's a shame that happen quite regularly. That's the thing.
But I tell you what, from the bad fortune to the good fortune in the second and the first race, you are supposed to wide open, like, oh my goodness, what's happened here? You know, so you know, you certainly had your good fortune as well this race as well. But that you must have had the biggest grin on your face when you overtook Rfactor going through that right hand.
Yeah, I was thankful for it. It's always going to see someone because he drove such a great race. Do you know what I mean? A decent pace. He was dropping off at the. He was dropping off at the bit. He was about 3.3 seconds. So I did reel him in a bit, but he done enough to win that race. He did. If he didn't make that mistake, then I think when I started the last lap, I was about 1.3 behind him, and I closed 6 tenths up until that point. So I don't think I wouldn't have caught him for a fact. I would have finished a couple of tenths behind him, but whether it was the pressure or whether he was looking at timing or I don't know, but whatever he done, it wasn't good. And yeah, it's a shame that he had a big spin and not half a spin, that he couldn't tuck him behind me, kind of thing.
That's it.
Between me and Butcher, but yeah, I mean it's 5 points gained. So
that's it. It's only 9 points now between you and Butcher. You know, so you're looking to Monza, trying to close the gap a little bit more potentially, and into the later rounds. I was looking at Suzuka, Brazil, all these sort of other racetracks we're going to as well. But I'm glad for a sense of race one, because I know you put in so much hard work with you and Luke in recent times as well. Luke Browning as well. Was it like a 5 or 6 hour stint you did at some point?
He's a good lad. Yeah,
he's a really good lad.
It's good to see him getting faster as well.
He is. He's causing too much trouble in the back. You know, he's always getting into incidents, poor old Luke Browning. But I'll say thanks for coming over, Chris. And I'll say I wish you I wish Butcher luck for the season. I wish you luck as well for the rest of the season as well.
Nice one, buddy. See you later.
You take care. So I'll leave that now with the interviews completed now. I don't think anyone else really wants to join us down here. But I'll say, Wolf will say, thanks very much for everyone who's joined us today. Our Gokita has been as well, and our streamer. I say apologies for any trouble if the stream's not been the best quality. But as I say, I think there's been a couple of technical issues on our side potentially. And I apologise if I've been a little bit croaky or, you know, with my voice, or if I've been coughing too much or anything like that, because I'm not 100%. But I'll say I wish everyone the best. I'll say 2 weeks' time. We're back at Monza now. I'll say fast straights and everything down there, and a lot of action down there. And I'll say our scheduled will be Super Cup tomorrow, Super League on Thursday, and then we've got Academy Series on the 21st, and also the ITC on the 23rd of August there. So I'm going to love you and leave you there, and I'll say I wish you all the very best, and I'll probably see some of you guys, or speak to some of you guys potentially tomorrow or Thursday as well. And I'll say I'll leave you there. So take care. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.